I don't remember.
Now to 33 black sashes. All right. So,
Yeah, and even I almost didn't come.
Yeah.
It work.
I thought, I sat here for a second, I thought, you know, I wonder if everyone, I wonder who if anyone's showing up tonight.
I have to be back online at 9 tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't have to do anything. It's like, I've sort of been helping with this project up in Waco, but I'm not doing it. Some other guy's doing it. I'm just, I guess, online for moral support. I don't even actually know what he's doing.
Huh.
It's not even something that I do. It's just
Switch.
they needed help with this project. I got drafted.
Oh. Maybe they don't trust them 100%.
No, it
They
was
trust
more
you
like,
more.
no, it's this thing where they're trying to like install this new hardware on all of the, you know, hundreds of hospitals across the country. And they were gonna do it, you know, at a nice, easy, slow pace.
Inside.
And then, for some reason, it all had to do with some sort of accounting issue or something. They decided like in November, no, it all has to be done as fast as possible. So the person who's in charge of like, you know, coordinating everything was too much for one person, so they just drafted some extra people to help coordinate things. And I got drafted to do the Texas hospitals.
Is that Mr. Weiner?
It is.
Switch. I just don't know his vehicle then. Maybe he got a new vehicle, or maybe it's his wife's. Well, it's a good family car. Safe, all four-wheel drive, good reviews. My stepmom just got a brand new one. Both my parents tried out the hybrids, and both their most recent car is not a hybrid anymore.
Yeah.
They didn't care for the hybrids. Save 5 miles per gallon on the highway. Cool, he's going in your kick butt. Yeah, I just want to keep you running the habit if they're don't walk through a class to change.
Right.
You know, unless kick butt is just overrun by some event. I have nests, you know, like Nest thermostat at home and stuff, and had them at the old location, but the landlord, you know, sprung for the brand new system here.
Yeah.
And it came with a brand new Honeywell, and now I finally figured out the Honeywell app. So now I can preheat the school or pre-cool the school before I get there, like I used to at the other location, although the other location didn't really have good AC or heat, so switch. So we didn't get the. So actually it was then more important that I wake up in the morning and start the AC so that by the time classes happened, it was cool. All right, Taiji. I thought it was a bit too cold for outside, right?
It's cool. And I got some sprinkles driving in.
We had perfect weather for Saturday, huh?
Yeah.
Right before the cold came. Do you have your?
Oh, I left it.
That's fine. I mean, you can get it if you want, or.
Oh, you know, I'll leave it.
And release. Okay, let's see if we can make it up to our, or if you need any other stretches, you can do another stretch. And we'll see if we can make it up to the, we have blue green dragon emerges from the sea. I think that's as far as we've done, right? Oh, good. You know, it's a blue green dragon emerges from the sea.
Yeah, well, last time you said you found the names, or we're gonna start looking at it.
Oh, for Quando.
Oh.
Yeah, he got the Quando, but I memorized names for the Laojia a long time ago, so.
Oh.
So I even know the Chinese. Oh, I haven't taught it well. Qinglong Chu Shui. Yeah, Qinglong Chu Shui. The blue-green dragon emerged from the sea. Because Shui is water.
We only did the new moves once for the Laojia, so we can go over them
The
slowly.
Oh, yeah, of course, absolutely. That's the advantage. I have everyone else out. Miss Upwell's out for COVID, and Miss Burns is out. So, yeah, let's start from the top. Yeah, of course, we'll still do it 3 times before we cover anything. Yeah. Until we reach a threshold where it's too many moves. Oh my gosh, I can't help but do the fan form. Let's start again. I got fan form in my brain. So easy. a little slower, and then last week they kind of fast in the park. Okay, of course, review the last part, any others?
No, just the last part.
Cool. From what move, like what position?
I don't know, just something that's not clear on what.
What's
to
clear?
do. So you could do a bunch of stuff.
So you just go like this, or go to the position you think you are good up to.
Okay, well. So is this or is it just meeting?
It has a little bit of that, but mostly it's just meaning.
There's just meeting coming down and then.
But look closely, they're not next to each other, okay? So see it from the other side. Okay,
It's trailing, okay.
yeah, it's not like, it's not,
And so I was wondering.
it's not that.
It's more like, pull back, almost like.
Yeah. I mean, mostly you're here, you're just adding, I mean, we just did the fan form, it's the same move in the fan form, right? You have the fan, you passed on and you went trunk and then, is that the part? Anyways, you have a similar one in the fan form where, it's in this hand and, oh no, it's in this hand, and you go here and then you go up above and then runk. But the beginning of it is still the same. It has a look of both hands going out, even though one hand is already out. Okay, but I didn't go further up from my elbow, which might be the case in 38 form when you do that. But still with that, half the students for years still do this. You know, it was never that. It's always here in the center, right? Yeah, for the 38 form. You can keep asking questions through. If that one's good.
And then, once we're, the last, this one,
That looks good.
so then you're just pivoting and coming down?
Yeah, and actually, if we follow Chen Lay's example, he was on the ball of his foot for that step through. Okay? So, on the very last one before the punch, you step through with the brush knee. When he steps with this one, his weight is lighter and it releases the heel this way. So it goes, right? So you have this hand here and then you're sinking there. You're staying on the front leg as you circle, and then you're just shifting back onto the right leg without turning too much. And then you turn and release that way. As opposed to a full turn over to here, to a full turn over to here. Right? When he does it, he's very subtle with it. He has a much more subtle version of the Laojia. And of course he does. He's considered the top Chen stylist in the world, right? I think Chung Jin Sai was like 17th generation. I think Chen Lei is 15th generation. So, I mean, all the masters, they can argue about how a form should be done. That's what masters do. But we're using this example on this round. So, his is a lot more subtle, like Yang style Taiji. He steps forward, and then when he shoots this foot forward, he pivots like that. And then it shifts forward here, and it more like sits back. But then when it releases, it still releases ag. That makes sense? Okay, well, before we go to more corrections, try those two corrections just on your own. Like lock in that earlier part and this one, and then I'll keep moving with more questions on it. Yeah. Don't want to overwhelm with corrections that you can't remember. want me to go over that punch again?
Add an add to the punch too.
Okay. So, when we do the punch, let's just say we just picked up here, we came down, and when you, you come down, the hands separate, and then when you take your step, this hand comes out and it's like a diagonal sweep across, so as you shift and step, it's coming back down by the hip, and then the right hand comes forward. Go ahead and leave the right foot here, and take your other step forward, and then at the end, let it adjust. And then the left hand's continuing to circle onto the right, and you're on the left leg. Then you shift back, and don't turn very much, and then think of it almost like a karate punch. From here, punch more towards the window, okay? Then to the diagonal. I keep getting the forms confused. Yeah. So, let's do that whole section, and then they'll lead up into the part afterwards. So, we have done the Buddha stand, and we come back to the white crane. So here we are, the white crane. You come up, down, and we make a good circle. And this one's a low brush, because we're coming up for the oblique. Then we're picking them up. And then from here, you can let them both go out, and you go down with the body. Okay? Then you come up, and you can take your step. This will have a diagonal, and this one will go straight forward. And then you'll take your other step and circle for the other brush knee, using this foot here. Okay? Then this is the second one, correct? And then now we're doing a punch. The hands separate as you sink with your body. And then you do a diagonal brushing across the body that steps forward. And that steps forward again. And then the foot releases. And then sinks and shifts back as you load up, and then punch forward. Then you do like white crane spreads wings, right? But you don't. You're just turning to flow into the Buddha stand. More or that again? One more step. One more step up and down. More.
That one next thing.
One thing, you go out like you're closing out a form.
Okay.
So it goes out, and like it goes right, left, and drop. Yeah. And with a bunch of students out, we're going to review this all again. So if you feel like you're still not locking it in, we really will have opportunity to keep running over it again. With me again or on your own?
Well, one quick question.
Yes.
When we do the, step,
Yes,
it
that's
seems
good.
like you were saying pivot this foot out and then come.
Now I'm saying the opposite. Just leave it there, take a step forward, and then let it pivot. So that you have your end foot placement. And I'm just emulating him, that Chen leg. It's like, my experience with forms is that they just have an internal consistency for themselves. Yeah. So you have an internal consistency. Well, there's a consistency for a style, but for a routine in Chen, you have your sinja, and you're consistent on how you do your, for instance, single whip every time in that one. Or whatever move it is, your Buddha stamp, have a consistency. Like for instance, Chen Lei doesn't flick his wrist for that move, right? But Chung Jin Sai definitely emphasizes it in the 38 form. So he's all the time with the 38 form. You got to think, like smack him and close it in, but he just comes, he goes there and he just keeps that wrist neutral, right? He doesn't let it loose. That's the thing that's consistent. So this stepping series here, the skill you get on retuning how you do it, that's different than Yang and other Chen forms, will carry into the other moves in this whole routine that are even different, like whirling wind arms. Yeah, so when you do whirling wind arms, you'll have a similar stepping, but it'll just be backwards. All right, so you said it again, so let's do it again. We're up in white crane. Okay. And we have a little stretch up and a down. And then we have a brush And then I'm gonna open up for oblique, and now we're in like a kung fu bow stance, short kung fu bow stance. Or double dragon scale placement, but bigger. Down, up, the hands are kind of crossed, but then now you come up, you're gonna go out and sink to do your step. And this time you go diagonal, because you're just stepping forward. Leave the right foot where it is, and step forward, but let it pivot at the end. And bring the hands back and brush for our second oblique. Now we have our second transition, and then again, we go out and sink. And then a diagonal brushing for a step straight forward. For a step straight forward and a pivot. To a sink, shift forward, shift back and load, punch. Yeah. Oh, sorry, there's more. And then you cross the hands in and out, because it's like white crane spreads wings, and then they keep circling around, very similar to your 38 one. Bend and drop. And then you go out and out and out and out like we have in other forms, and drop. Yep. Okay, now try it on your own. See what you can lock in. Oh, that's so much, it's such short time, I know. But you're feeling the difficulty levels more matching you now than the form we did last year. The forms we did last year and the year before, this would have been the form, ideally, an ideal. But we had just done it before you joined the class.
Yeah, I mean, this one makes sense where it's at.
Yeah, yeah.
Forgetting how it happened at the last drop.
We'll do that next. Unless you, well, I mean, we're at the threshold where we should switch to Quando. But we can also just save Quando for next class, because we're gonna have to review everything anyways. We did that complicated section last time. So how about this? Let's go ahead and review the next part of this form. You know, because I think you had already learned it, it's just review. And then we can review that complicated foot stepping section of the Quando. Yeah, instead of running the whole Quando over and over again, we'll just worry about that one little section and get it down better. And then once we're with the group again and we're all doing it together, we'll review that way. Okay, anyways, that's my plan. Let's try it. So we made it to the Buddha stamp. And then we open up and open up and open up and drop. Then look, it's just pull back on the left. And then it's lean with back. Or Yeah, lean with back. And then pull it through. Very common, very much like 38 form. From here, this is similar to 38 form, but the right side's a lot smaller. A little swashing around there. Okay?
So we're keeping the left of fist even to the end?
Now the left opens up. So the left opens up at different times. So when let me see, here, for here, we have like this. So we have it opening up, and then we have it, well actually, it can be closed at first. It's very similar to 38 form. The 38 form has it closed at first, right? And then 38 form has, remember the hand open, because it's for grabbing. So once this one goes back and forth, it'll open by the time it gets to here, and then it closes for the punch. So
Like if it draws into a fist, it comes forward, the hand, if it draws, it comes forward, it seems.
I would, I mean, that's closer than keeping it closed the whole time. It's more like it stays mostly closed until the end when it opens punch. Because it's, if we're using 38 form as an example, it is like a mini version of 30, I mean, it's a subtle version of 38 form. So rather than coming up to here or doing the back, the hammer fist. So if we do 38 form, we bring a fist down here, we do hammer fist here. We come back and we do hammer fist here, and we have chamber here. Then we have back fist here, and then we have palm here. And then we have punch. So in some ways, this is very similar. You're not thinking of that as the hammer fist, but for a minor section, think of that as a hammer fist. And think of this as stretching all the way down. So we're here, and then we're here, and then we're here, and then we're here. See how it's like a small circle version of 38 version. So it's 38 makes big circles, right? And it looks really obvious. And this one has the same dynamic and everything, but then it has just small circles. Yeah. Just the bigger. Okay, try it. I'll give you like 1 or 2 minutes. So I'm gonna do one more time with me, and then I'll give you like 2 minutes to practice it, and then we can finish off by working on that complicated Quando section.
Sorry.
Okay. So let's go from, oh yeah, you needed all of it. So you're here, and then you have to stretch out, and drop. And then pull back here, and then lean right, lean left, and then pull. And then drop, turn, grab, punch. All right, give that a shot. You watch the Cobra Kai yet?
Some of it, not the new ones.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still cheesy, but it keeps getting better. Like each season gets better. And then it's just like a coincidence that I got my photo with them like before it ever came out.
Now I know who they are.
Yeah, I mean, I knew who they, yeah, now everyone knows who they are, because a lot of times people would look at that and go, who's these guys you took a picture with? They're your teacher? I'm like, no, they're actors. They don't really know martial arts. But it's okay.
Although they studied later, I think.
Really?
After the first movie, I think they said they.
Well, one of the kids from the show had, I get all the, you know how social media works, right? If you look at one thing, you start get fed that stuff all the time. So I look at one Cobra Kai thing, and then I get Cobra Kai stuff all the time. And so I got an article that said that one of the kids was inspired to start training martial arts because he was an actor in the show. I was like, that's great. And I love the jokes I see when people are like, yeah, I know martial arts. I watched 3 seasons of Cobra Kai. And now I know martial arts. And I'm like, oh, okay, calm down. All right, you want to try the Quando?
Sure.
So, yeah, you fire a stick again. Welcome. Yes, of course. Well, I think, well, I don't care which one we do. I was just suggesting the hardest last one. It's definitely if you can do that one. And then we have the mirrors today. So every time we turn, you can be like, I'm not up behind your back anymore. You can see me in the mirror.
We should practice in the hallway.
Oh, dude, definitely. We'll see. No. By the way, so this form, but also Gudong staff, and Mr. Haley knows that I would get people to get in between the bags at the old school.
yeah.
And I would, because they couldn't do it, they would keep twisting the staff back and forth. I'm like, no, you need to stay in that little slot. You need to get that guy rolling so that you never hit back and forth. And as soon as they like, bang, I'm like, nope. So yeah, definitely the hallway is the way to go. Making me have flashbacks to when I trained with Master Bryant in Houston when I was a teenager. He had a hallway on the way to his kid's bedroom when I stayed with one of his kids. And so it was a hallway too. So we would always talk about the different kind of martial arts that would work if we had to fight in that hallway. Unfortunately, if we did fight in that hallway, we would have destroyed all his framed family photos. Because he has a very large family. All right, so let me see if I get to the right spot. Is it here?
Yeah, we jumped in there.
Yeah, so we're here, right? And then we row backwards like this. We row and go forward, turn, forward, and then backward, and then forward, forward, and then step and stomp, right, left. We didn't do anything new, so we've just been reviewing. All right, so let's try that again. That's a lot. I mean, that's like the hardest part for every. Let's try again. So we do that rowing motion, stepping back, and then step left, right, left, right, step back, left, and then now go right, left, and then stop.
Now if you could break it down, just the first part of it.
Okay, stay where you are, just watch it once. And I'm gonna still say all the things, you can still follow if you want, but it's a great to just see the mirror, how it mirrors. And then we'll take it over from the beginning. But just watch, don't try it, just watch, because when you hear me go left, right, and then right, left, and stuff. So we step back, and it's left, right, step back, left, and then now it's right, left, and then right, left. Okay? You want to stand next to me and do it too? If you stand right next to me, it'll. The thing is, it's always looking over your shoulder. It's harder to. I missed that.
I'm on this side of it.
Yeah, I'm fine. Either way, whatever helps you guys. All right. Oh yeah, this is actually a better spot. Yeah, over my right shoulder. All right, so we're here. Hey, look, if you're at home, here's your chance. Boom. So we're rowing backwards. Ready? We row, step back, and it's left, right, and then left, right, and then step back, left, and then step forward, right, left, and then here we go again, right, left. It was right, left, and then, oh, that was it then. Right, left, unless I messed up from interrupting the flow. Let's try it again. So we row, and then it's left, right, and then we just pick up the left foot. So that's left, right, and then we keep turning back and step back with the left, and then we have right, left. We do that same thing again. Just pick up the right foot and step right.
Hands are.
Just keep going, keep going. You didn't finish, that's all. Yep, and then it's right and step forward left. There it is. And then you keep turning right, left. Got it that time. Yeah. It's a, you know, it's like a lot of the routines that when we're learning that they end up being easier than, you're like, that can't be right, that's too easy.
I think I'm spinning the Quando ahead of the feet, behind the feet. It seems like the timing difference helps.
Yeah.
Or hurts.
Yep. It's like a step wind up, step wind release, step wind release, step wind release, step wind release. You know, so every time I do it, step wind release, step wind release, step wind release, step wind release, step wind release. So, I don't know, does it continue the same direction the whole time? It does, so it's always spinning, the staff is always spinning here. Right? Yeah, so it's always spinning the same way, which takes a bit of letting go, thinking about it. We have this in the udon staff set, right? Because we have to do this in the udon staff set. We have to keep twisting over and over again. Right. It's hard for people to, what? Right. What's similar in the udon staff set, which you haven't learned in this one, is that there are staff sets, I'll show the camera too. There are staff sets where it's 1, 2, 1, 2, right? It's 1, 2, 1, 2. Not this one. This one's 1, 2, 3. Under the armpit, turn. 1, 2, under the armpit. 1, 2, under. It's, sorry, I'm saying 1, 2, but it's 3 times this points at butt, head, butt, head, butt, head, butt, head, butt, head, butt, head, butt. So, yes, when you get to your armpit, you have to turn. I think I'm right about that. Let's try it from the beginning of that section. So here we go. Step back. Oh yeah. We don't always get to tuck it under our armpit because we release it by stepping around.
Went too far, isn't it?
That's okay. The good news is, look, there'll be a recording of this later. Okay, I think I'm over-instructed it. I mean, don't you want to overthink it? Try it on your own. Yeah, and then start to work it out so you can figure out how you have improved it, and what else you need to do to get it better.
I count. I don't know if that helps you or not.
Okay. Can I count with you?
Yeah, so here's how I do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5. So step through. Look to right for 5.
Yeah, right before that, I'm getting tangled up, I think.
Okay.
Before.
So, to here. 1, I think about winding up. 2, I'm coming over. 3, 4, there you go. 5, 6. I messed up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6 is back. 6.
Every and that's the other.
So, 1, 2,
If you really want to type it, I want to have it in my trunk.
4,
And then,
5,
it's kind of hard to see, but if you just touch the
7,
screen, it'll let you, it'll light up.
9,
And then it's a negative.
10.
I think I'm-
Well,
There's
it's
a little
12.
chill
Huh?
in there earlier.
It's 12 total?
or 12.
I thought it was shorter than that.
I tried to
Last
10.
one to be warmer.
Think.
I know I didn't have very many.
Yeah. We got.
And 3, and then 4.
I've had like 8 or 10 people.
6, 7, 8,
That's really awkward.
8, 9, 10, and.
At the end, for some reason.
It's one of those things where it's the whole riding the bike thing. It's like, once it's there, but getting there is a beast. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? 9 is either reset or
Let me get
So-
6, I guess.
8, we step through here. So 9, just sort of reset that right one. 10, step through. And then either 11, 12, or reset or whatever.
Okay.
1. 4. 5. But this is one of those things where it's gonna come up at 2 or 3 more times. So,
The wrapping up just feels awkward. It feels like you have to go down.
yeah,
I guess I have to let it slide. Instead of holding it fixed, and I think of going down instead, I should let it go. Yeah.
So, probably, be back, we'll get back.
yeah, you definitely have to like do all the little, let the hand be released and.
Yeah, so you're letting it, instead of going like this, you're letting it like it's loose, right? So it can wrap, okay.
Because it's sort of like, that thing about like rock climbing, we are supposed to have like 3 points of contact. So you just gotta have 1 point of contact, the other can, you get to adjust your hand.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah, because I was getting it wrapped up, but I guess if I let it loose, it's easier if I knot it like this.
Oh, yeah, you can't hold on to it firmly, you have to let it go a little bit. But you can still hold on to it firmly until it's a Quando. Because once it's a Quando, if you hold on to it firmly, you won't be doing cuts, you'll be doing slaps with the sides, so you have to keep adjusting it. What I mean by that is if I grab it with 2 hands like this, and I keep my hand stiff the whole time, then 1, it's twisting up my wrist, but then 2, oh, I see, if you're doing that, if you're holding it
At
tight,
certain points, yeah.
yeah, if you're holding it tight, it's gonna mess you up. Actually, the first one is up by the blade, like it's a saber. And then the other one gets to move around a little bit. Because ultimately, as we do this one, it cuts back with the blade, and then cuts with the blade, and then the blade is leading all the movements the whole entire time. Which is really hard to do if you don't let the hands, adjust a little. Okay, but we have our cue, it's time to pull it out. It's just like a beginner Taiji the first month or so. It's just like, what is going on here? And then after a little while, you're like, oh, I got it. I'm seeing the pattern. All right, we honor the masters who came before us and seek to follow their examples.
Not a Grand Master instructor.
Thank you. bow to third degree and second degree advanced black sash class dismissed.